What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Let's get into the topic that we're going to be talking about. So as a lot of you guys know, it's been about 2.5 months since my first men's physique show. So I competed like June 11th and now it's late August, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So it's been a while. It's been about 2.5 months since the show. And I feel like I made a video, I forget exactly how long after the show, but it was pretty soon after, maybe 2 weeks. And I feel like, it's been long enough for me to really, talk about my experience, talk about, the after effects of the show, weight gain and things like that, and about my, my mindset, because I feel like that's something that not a lot of people talk about is, the mindset after the show, because it's pretty intense. Like, it's something that you definitely have to plan for. So I do just kind of want to talk about, leading up to the show and the cut and everything. Like, I just kind of want to talk about how I felt with that. The cut, you guys, like, I don't know how to explain it other than, like, it's really, like, being low in calories is difficult, the lowest I got was 2100, so that wasn't even that low compared to some other people that are going much, much lower than that, right? So I definitely wasn't going that low, but the mental strain that it takes is the hardest part. At least for me, it was way harder, like, than not eating that much. It was just, it messes with how you think about things. You literally start only thinking about food. So that was difficult for me because, you go from one extreme, which was eating anything I wanted, obviously I was 360 pounds, going from there to, trying to work on your relationship with food and then going into that mode. I wouldn't say that my relationship got really messed up, but it was definitely like, it was hard. It was difficult. So, I got through the show and everything, and so post-show, I remember we went to Denny's. You guys saw that in the video, and I remember, like, the thought that I was done with like the show, I was done with everything. I remember driving to Denny's, I just had this sense of calmness, and I think I brought that up in the last video too. It was like, I was just calm, and it was really nice to be able to relax. But at the same time, you start thinking about, like, not wanting to gain too much weight. You start thinking about, man, I want to eat this food, but do I want to gain too much weight? And you're trying to play that game, you're trying to, toe the line, I guess, walk in the middle, not gain too much weight, but still enjoy your, your food and stuff like that. So that was definitely, that's something that I've been, dealing with, and I'm very proud to say that I've only gained maybe about 5 pounds since the show still. I'm at like 185 pounds. So I decided to film like a physique update for you guys as well. So that'll be playing either over my face or onto the side. Just know that I am much wider than I was at the show and things like that. So, kind of, take that into consideration. But yeah, you guys, I've only gained 5 pounds, and I honestly believe that I've done it as best as I possibly could have. Like, I couldn't be more proud of myself. I just couldn't be more proud of myself because I've been able to go out and eat. It's not like I'm restricting myself and not going out to eat with my friends and not going out to eat with my family, but at the same time, it's like I'm being smart. I'm still doing my cardio. I do about 20 minutes. So on the days that I don't do CrossFit, I do 20 minutes, 20, sometimes it's 10. If I'm really tired, I'll just skip it. But normally I'll do about 10 to 20 minutes on the stairs if I'm not doing CrossFit. And then the days that I do CrossFit, I just don't do any other cardio. I've made sure that I kept that up. That was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do more cardio just so I could, feel better when just because, like, you're a bodybuilder and stuff doesn't mean that you have to have bad cardio. At least that's what I believe. So that was something that was really important to me, was, keeping that cardio up. But obviously more important than cardio is the amount of food that you're putting into your body. So I just tried to stay smart with it. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been tracking literally at all since the show. Not like at all. The only thing that I weigh out is my oatmeal, just because I like to have 2 servings. But like, that's the only thing I weigh out. I'm just smart with my food. It's like the same thing. I call it the common sense diet. The same thing I did when I was losing most of my weight is kind of what I'm doing now. Not going out and eating a bunch of chips, not going out and binging on a bunch of food, but still going and eating. If I go out to eat, I'll normally pick a healthier option, but sometimes I'll have a dessert, I'll have some donuts. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it's been really good. And I have to say, for myself, I'm very proud of, the amount of weight that I have not put on. But at the same time, how my physique is looking and stuff, like, I'm just really excited about it because I think anybody can relate to this. You work so hard when you're cutting to get down in weight. You work so hard to cut all this weight off, to cut all this fat off and everything like that, that you don't want to, like, put the weight back on all at the same time, so that was really important to me. So I decided to basically, like, lean bulk, I guess you want to call it, but really, like, maintain for a little bit, just because I worked so hard to get as lean as I did that I didn't want to just put on the weight right away. And I think that's kind of how everyone feels, but it's difficult because you start cutting yourself cutting so many things out when you're cutting that it's hard not to just like eat all that stuff. And I wish I could give you guys like, this is what I did and this is what will work for everybody, but I just know that it was something that was always on my mind, and I really I was committed to gaining weight in a healthy way and getting back to a healthy weight. You know, I feel a lot better. I don't have those days where I literally am just like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. You know, I've gotten to a healthy weight, but there's no reason for me to gain a bunch of weight for no reason. And like that, I think the main thing that helped me, you know, gain weight so slowly is just really thinking about that all the time and making sure that I'm not gaining weight, making sure that I'm not making stupid decisions with my food, and, you know, training hard every single day still, doing my cardio, making sure that basically just doing the basics, really, I guess you could say. So that's just kind of how I'm thinking and how I was able to, you know, not gain too much weight after the show. I do kind of want to talk about, you know, now my overall feelings of the show and competing. Do I plan on competing again? So overall, I have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but at the same time, like the most rewarding experience I've ever had in my entire life. The day of the show, getting the sword, all of that stuff, you know, like I can't explain how, like that calmness I talked about earlier, you know, that calmness when I was driving to Denny's after the show was over, like that was the best feeling. It was amazing feeling like that. And like the only way I think I could ever feel like that again is if I work that hard for something again. You know, if I work that hard for something, then I will feel that calmness, and it's just like that sense of relief and being like, I did it. And like when I say it was the hardest thing I've ever done, I mean harder than losing 160 pounds. Like I'm dead serious, because, you know, weight loss, I talk about it all the time. It's very simple, but it's not easy. So when you get down to trying to lose like 1 extra pound, or you're only trying to lose an extra half pound, every single mistake you make is gonna be magnified like tenfold. So that's how it was for the show. I couldn't make any mistakes. There was no, you know, messing up my diet. There was no messing up my training. It was like, you have to be on point or else you're not gonna be happy with how you look on stage. And bringing that up, I kind of want to talk about how I looked on stage. I gotta say that I am, like, I know I didn't look the best there. Obviously, I didn't win or anything like that, but like, I was so, like, I know that I did everything possible in my being to be the best version of myself on stage, to be as lean as possible, and I don't think I would change anything. You know, I think that I was very happy with how I looked. I worked as hard as I possibly could have. So I'm really, really happy with the package that I brought on the stage and everything like that. Now, the question I want to answer is, do I ever plan on competing again? I don't know, and I think that it's still a little bit too close, personally, for me to really answer that question truthfully, because I could say, oh no way, but I mean, it's been 2.5 months, so it's still relatively fresh, I think, at least for me. So I mean, I would say no right now. Like, I think when I think about competing, there's no way I want to do it anytime soon, but who knows, you know what I mean? In a while, I might, you know, get that itch again and decide to do it. But I think now, if I decided to compete, I would have a lot better understanding, obviously, because I've competed, and I would understand how big of a commitment that really is. And so I think that, you know, I would take it a little bit more seriously in the beginning and understand, like, this is going to be something that I have to struggle with for a long time, and something that's going to be, you know, take up a lot of my time, a lot of my mental capacity, and all of that stuff. So do I plan on competing again? No, I don't have any dates in mind. Do I think I might ever do it? I can't even answer that question. Like, maybe, you know, I don't know for sure. Another thing I wanted to talk about, a lot of people ask me about, you know, my loose skin and things like that. You guys have already obviously seen the physique update that I threw up over this this video. So I mean, it's a hard question to answer, because I see my body every single day. You know, I see my skin every single day. I see it, I just see it every day. So it's hard to say like, oh yeah, it definitely got better over time, because like, personally for me, and like, people, they don't believe me when I say this, and I mean, I guess I can understand that, but you know, it just is who I am, and it doesn't bother me, so I don't look at it and think to myself, I wish you would go away, or oh, I think it's getting better, like I don't have loose skin anymore, because I know for a fact it will never go away unless I get surgery. Like, I understand that. I'm not saying that it ever will, but I don't even stress about it. Like, I literally don't even think about it. So honestly, but for me, from like, if I were to look at it and tell you like, oh, it's gotten better, I don't know. I don't think it has, but that doesn't bother me, and I'm not trying to scare anyone away or like be like, yeah, your skin will never get better. But for me personally, I don't think it's gotten that much better, and if it has, it's very slow. slight, but I do know that it takes a long time for your loose skin to really contract after a massive weight loss. Like, it can take up to 5 to 10 years. So, you know, that journey continues, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's kind of how I, you know, my physique update, how I'm feeling post-show, how much weight I've gained. You know, it's only been about 5 pounds. I'm really happy with that. You know, the next goals that I have are, there's tons of things that I want to be able to do. You know, there's so much stuff that I want to be able to do that is not related to my physique. Like, obviously you guys see me doing CrossFit. Like, I'm becoming so much more athletic than I've ever been in my entire life, doing stuff that I never thought I would be able to do. Like, that is really fun, and it's just been really cool, you know, going into the gym. You know, obviously I'm still doing my bodybuilding stuff, but, you know, going into the CrossFit gym and worrying about performance, and it's, I don't know, it's just kind of opened my eyes a little bit to be like, you know, if you might look like, for me personally, I might have, I don't want to say I looked really good, but like, compared to me before, you know, you looked a lot better, right? But like, what can you do with your body? And honestly, like, I couldn't even really run that much and things like that. So it's just been, you know, it's different goals, I guess. You know, I went from only caring about aesthetics, you know, I care about aesthetics a lot still, but at the same time, I'm really just leaning a lot more towards being functional and being able to use my body and being athletic, and be like, athleticism is really huge for me right now, and that's something that I want to, you know, explore my body, because I think it's hard to explain. You know, I'm 23 years old, almost 24, and I don't remember a time where I've ever been able to actually think of myself as athletic, even with losing weight and like being lean on stage. And even before that, when I was a little bit bigger, but, you know, I had more body fat, but I was able to do more, like, I still didn't think of myself as very athletic, and now I'm getting to a point where I feel like that, and it's really exciting. But I'm gonna stop rambling. That's just kind of how I feel about the show, my total, you know, it's been 2.5 months, so my total, just, you know, telling you guys everything. But yeah, I just wanted to record this video, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your support recently and in the past, and hopefully in the future. Like, I appreciate you guys so much, and I really wish I could explain that to a point. Like, I really wish that I could just like show you guys how much I appreciate you guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially to this point. If you got here, thank you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.